In this next video, we're going to focus on the vertical geometry define element profiles tools. And now we're going to go ahead and zoom in down to the bottom here. The file that we're in is located under District CAD Design Randolph J2P0200 Data 03, and we're in the Civil Geometry Vertical.dgn file. So we're going to go ahead and zoom into the down here at the top, and the very first one we're going to look at is the quick profile transition. And this one kind of works in conjunction with the tool that we looked at in an earlier video, and that's this one right here, the project extend profiles, where we're looking at this horizontal element, and we basically drew these two profiles in that profile view. So we're going to kind of do the same thing down here, and then we're going to get into the quick profile transition tool. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select the radius here, and again we're going to open up its profile model, and it's just an existing ground, and we're going to zoom out a little bit, and then again we're going to project these onto this profile model as well. And to do that, we're going to go back up to an earlier tool, the project extend profile, which is this one. Now, in order for this one to work, these two red tangent elements going into this radius have to have a profile on them. And so we're going to go ahead and use this tool, and it's going to say select element to project onto. Well, we want to project onto the radius there, and so we're going to extend back beyond the beginning point of that red line, and then we're going to go up this way and do the same thing. And you can see the two profiles coming into that radius. And what this quick profile transition will do is it'll create a profile going through there, okay, or connecting the two profiles coming into the radius. And so we're going to go back on down, and we're going to go, it's the last row, first icon, quick profile transition. And all we got to do is click on that tool and kind of follow the heads up display. It says what method do you want? You got parabolic or linear. We're going to do parabolic, and so we're going to accept that. Now it says locate what to define, and so we're going to pick on the radius return. And as soon as we do that, you can see what it does when it creates that transition profile. It connects the profile coming into it and the profile going out. We're going to hit F4, and we're going to move on over to the next area, which is the profile by constant elevation. And so I'm going to go ahead and open up this profile model. And so we have an existing ground, and what we're going to do is just place a profile out there that at a constant elevation. And that's the next tool over. It's this one here, the second one in the last row. And so we just have to locate the first element, which is that item right there, and then we're going to reset to end, and then it's going to ask, okay, what elevation do you want to use? And so we're going to use something like 840. We're going to enter that, and then we're just going to accept that, and there you go. There's our constant elevation profile. We're going to move over to the next area. This one is a slope profile by slope from point. And so I'm going to hit F4 again. I'm going to go ahead and click on this alignment, open up its profile model. And what's going to happen is I have a 3D point here that actually has some elevation to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to project from that point on down and see how it hits this alignment. So for an example, this could be like a barrel area, and you just want to see at what slope, coming down from that top of that barrel area, what slope would fall onto this alignment. And so we're going to go ahead and use the third icon over in the last row. We're going to locate the first element, the profile, which is going to be the alignment. We're going to reset, and then we're going to locate the 3D point. So we're going to go over, click on it, and it's going to ask what slope do you want to come down from that point. And so we're going to put in something like, let's do a -5%. And you can see how it's projecting out. We can do all points, and there's some other options in there like vertice, ends, centroid, or all. We're going to do all. And once we have that in there, we're going to go ahead and accept that. And point projection can be radial, through, or radial. So we're going to go with radial. And profile adjustment, we're going to do none. Vertical offset, we're going to say 0 to that. And there's our profile that gets created when we come down from that high point, or from this point, at a negative 5% slope. So if we did have a barrel area there and we were coming down at a 5% slope, we would be needing to move a lot of material in order to get this existing ground line to work. So that's what that tool does for you. We're going to move on over to this one here, and we got a little bit of a note on this one. This one, the reference element must have an active profile, and then it says the white line is the reference element in this example. And so we're going to hit F4. We're going to open up. This is profile by slope from element. So we're going to go ahead and make this one open up this one's profile model. And sometimes these icons, these heads-up tools don't come up like this. And I found the easiest way to get the heads-up tools to pop up is go into the curve of your alignment. When you go into the curve of your alignment, sometimes it helps, and in this case it's not helping at all. And so it's just giving us some move options here. So I'm going to hit F4 a couple more times and see. There we go. Also hitting F4 helps once in a while to get these tools to pop open. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the profile model for that element there. And then we're going to go to profile by slope from element, and that's this icon right here. And in fact, the rest of these are very similar to this. We got a profile by slope from element, profile by variable slope from element, and profile by vertical. And so we're just going to really cover this first one because the rest of these two are very similar to the first tool. So we're going to click on this one. We're going to kind of follow the heads-up display. It says locate first element to profile. So we're going to pick on this alignment and we're going to reset. And it says locate reference element. And the reference element again is this white line. It does have a profile on it already. And you can see how it's going to project over. We're going to say 0%. And we're going to say all points. And profile adjustment none. And a vertical offset of none. So you can see it's taking this guy's profile and shooting it over onto this element here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hit F4 to that to go to the next tool, and we're going to slide on down to the profile by 3D element. And actually the top element is a 3D element, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit F4. We're going to open up this guy's profile model. We're going to click in there, and we're going to go to, I believe it's this one right here, profile by 3D element. We're going to locate the element to profile, which is this item right here, and then locate the 3D element defining the profile, which is this guy right here, and we have just projected that onto this profile here. We're going to move on over to this one here, and this is create a civil ruled feature. So we're going to go into this tool. We're going to open up its profile model. I have a profile out there, but if I click on it, you'll see that it has no rules set to it, because typically when you click on a profile, you'll get a grade and a distance, and this is how you add rules to a profile element. So we're going to come over, we're going to click on that icon right there. It says locate element and then reset to complete. So we're going to locate that and we're going to reset. And now if I hit F4 to clear out the tool and then click on this element, you can see I now have rules on that profile. Okay. So that's all there is to the vertical geometry tools, and we've got a couple examples we're going to go over, and in those examples we're going to kind of go over how the Civil AccuDraw works with the vertical profile tool. So if you're interested in placing profiles out there exactly at say a station and elevation, you're going to want to use the Civil AccuDraw, and we're going to discuss that in the next couple of videos here. Thanks.